Welcome back to the second episode of the Iconic Confessions Show, the show where we bring in a local icon each episode to learn more about their lives, careers, and experiences, and to see if they have any untold secrets and stories to share. Today on the show, we have Samuel Thomas, the founder of Sam Spares. Why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself and your organization?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah, for having me today. So Sam Spares is an organization that takes in e-waste from local community and big corporate organizations, repairs all of it at no cost, and then gives it out to free at no cost.
Yeah, so you started this initiative a few years ago. So what inspired you to start your own organization?
I think what inspired me was one day sitting down on the couch with my mum, and we were having a chat about life after high school, and I had this grand idea of being able to do what I love, which is mucking around with computers, and then on the on-flow effect of that, being able to give them out at no cost to people.
Yeah, wow. And so far since starting your organization, what has been the best experience for you?
Oh, I think there's been so many experiences. I believe the best is getting to see just the general outcome of who it's helped, because we've helped a few hundred people at this point with various devices, as well as other organizations that then have the on-flow effect of, if we fit out an office, that office can then run at a higher capacity and accept more people, and thus that on-flow effect is such an amazing thing to see.
Yeah, and well, on the flip side, what has been the worst experience? And tell us about some challenges you faced that you didn't see coming.
I think the biggest challenge is that we've never done anything like this before. I've never experienced not-for-profits before, and neither has any of the other members of my team. So the biggest thing has been getting our heads around the weird rules they have as to what you can do, what you can't do, and just general practice of how you're meant to do things.
Yeah, I see. And what motivates you to continue your gift of giving and to continue running your organization?
This one's probably a bit cliche, but you know when you get to see someone smile?
Yeah.
And I think that's the driving force behind what I'm doing currently.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And well, walk us through what a day in the life looks like for you. I'm sure you're really busy, so.
Yeah, so the average day now that we're in our new building is getting up around 7, getting ready for just the day if it's reading up emails for other things that I do, and then just getting dressed, heading down to the warehouse, and that's a 9 to 5 ordeal, which will handle whatever's going on in the day, whether it's processing through large orders that have come in, getting items ready to go out to organizations on Thursdays, and then just general repair. And that's what the average day is. Coming home, we might have an event in the afternoon that we have to go to for Sam Spares, but beyond that, that's pretty much the average layout of the day.
Yeah, wow, sounds good. And well, as a youth who's doing so much for a community and so much of your time and energy goes into the work you do you sometimes feel that you are missing out on your youth or the early stages of your life?
I'd say it's sort of a mixture of both good and bad with that. So there are a lot of things that a young person gets to experience that I haven't, because of the fact that since from such a young age I've always been pursuing that further point. But on the opposite end of that, I'd say it's really good because I have had the opportunity to experience so many things that others just haven't.
Yeah, I get that. And throughout your life, who is someone that's been your biggest supporter?
Oh, I think all of us can equate to this. My mum,
Yeah.
quite literally wouldn't be here without her.
Yeah.
And just she's helped grow me into the person I am today.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Yeah. And do you have a role model, someone that you look up to?
Oh, outside of family,
Yeah.
I would say probably some of the biggest role models I have out there are people like Elon Musk, Linus, who's the guy who created all these open source programs known as Linux, and just various other people in the tech industry that I look up to.
Yeah, cool. And you also have your own mentoring program where you teach other neurodivergent kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah, walk us through that.
So how that generally works is they come in, most of the time, it's people between the ages of about 12 to 26 is who I work with currently. And a lot of them come in, their parents tell me, my kid never goes out of the house, they never talk to anyone, they don't go to school anymore. And then within a few months, they come in and I teach them how to repair, and just the general thing of being exposed to someone who's like you, because I'm also neurodivergent, I have autism, and just them getting to see what other people like them can do, it tends to have a massive change on them. And a lot of them now talk to people when they're greeting them at the workshop or helping unload and just having a unique skill that they didn't have before.
Yeah, it must be a really empowering feeling for them. So if you had to give one piece of advice to someone maybe wanting to start their own organization or their own not-for-profit, what would it be?
Find your team. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is find your team, because you might have incredible skills by yourself, but every organization needs to have that team of diverse skills that can all back each other.
Yeah, I see. Well, we're moving on to the last part of our show, which is called Confess a Secret. So this box, it has questions and you have to answer it truthfully and just confess the truth.
Yeah. Okay, a scenario where you had a falling out with someone or was betrayed by someone. Why did it happen and how did you get over it? Okay, I'll actually share something pretty personal. So I've had a terrible relationship over my life with my father, which everyone has some family issues throughout life, but the biggest thing for me is I can't stand people who don't see their own wrongdoings, because I'm not that kind of person and I hate putting blame on others for things. So for me, my biggest falling out was with my dad, where it came down to him just not understanding that the things he was doing was wrong. And so that's been my biggest falling out for someone.
Wow, okay. Thank you for sharing that and getting personal with us. And thank you for all the work that you do in your community and everything that you've been doing so far. You put a lot of hard work into it. Well, it's time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you for having me, Miss Sarah.
It's all right. And we'll see you next time.